So, instead of a join, if you do a blending, then what will happen? Same two files, right. So, we bring in orders, right. And to do blending, remember you shouldn't add a file from this tab. You have to go to a sheet and then do the blending, to add the file. Okay. So, file new data source, okay, from the sheet, not from the data source tab. Go to sheet and then we will add. Okay, so population 2014. All right, so we are back into the data source page, which is okay. So we have the state here and the population. So now we go back to sheet 1. Okay. Now you want the order table to be the primary one. Okay, so go to orders. So now we'll set up our table. Okay, so bring in state or province into rows. So we have that. Now we bring in sales into columns. Okay. And then sort. Now remember, we want to look at 2014 per capita sales, right? So we want order date. Okay, so bring in order date to filters, right? And then select years and 2014. Okay, so now we'll do actually you could probably do this. We'll see. Okay. Next we want to do population, right? So here click on the secondary table and it is not automatically linking because in one we have state or province and here we have just state. So you have to go to data, edit relationships, right? And then okay, make sure what the primary data source is correctly set and the secondary data source is correctly set, right? And then do a custom, add state or province from the primary and state from the secondary. Okay. Click OK. So it's joined. So now if you bring in population, see the population is correctly set up, right? Because in blending, okay, the aggregation, so the what is called level of detail. So the data will be brought in at the level of detail of the visualization. Level of detail here relates to the marks. Okay. So here we have 49 marks for this bar chart and we have 49 marks for this bar chart. So state is your mark. So you have 49 states in this chart, 49 states in this chart. So we have 98 marks. So state is the level of detail. So if you have like counties and if you bring in counties into the visualization, then you will have a lot more marks because each state will have, I don't know, maybe 50, 60, 100 counties. So you end up lots of marks. So that would be the level of detail in the visualization. So right now it is state. So there is only one record that will come in. It won't be repeated like in join. So in join, okay, if California has 10 records, the population gets added to each of these records, right? But that's not the case here. Here, this will be brought in at the level of detail, which means in the visualization, all the 10 California records are now combined, aggregated. Okay, it's brought into the visualization. There is only one mark for California, and then the population is brought in and connected. So you'll have only one repetition of the population. All right. So now what we really want is sales per capita, right? So what we can do is we can create a calculated field. Okay, this is a very powerful feature, and all visualization packages, platforms, you'll see this. Tableau, Microsoft BI, and everything else. So this is how you'll do calculated field. So right click, and you have create calculated field, right? And you can also do this here. Create calculated field. Analysis, create calculated field. Okay. So now you have, okay, this is going to be calculated in this data set, which is okay. It's not a problem. But let's X that out. Let's go to the primary one, and let's do a calculated field from the primary data set. Okay, so orders. So here, let's say sales. Now per capita will be really, really small, because you see here sales is 300,000 some, and we have 38 million as your population. So instead of per capita, let's say per 100K population. Okay. All right. So now we need to, for each state, so you need to sum. So you start with the sum. Okay. And then you see the prefix f. So that means the sum is a function. Okay. So press tab, and then you have to tell sum of what. Okay. Let's say I started typing with S and A, then Tableau prompts you for sales. Okay, now press tab. So that gives us sum of sales. Okay, and now we need to divide by, right, population. Now we wanted it for 100,000 people, right? So this one will give you per capita. So we multiply by 100,000. Okay. Now if there is an error in the function, it will tell you that there is an error. So now it says the calculation is valid. So click OK. All right. Now let's go ahead and remove this population. We don't really need to do population. So now here, where is the? Okay, so we have sales per 100K population. So you see there is a number sign, and then before the number sign is an equal to sign, and the equal to sign tells us that this is a calculated field. So you bring that in, and let's put that into detail, right? So now if you hover, now it gives you the details of all the marks that are in the visualization. So we have state and province. So this bar is about California. Sales is in the visualization, so 327, but it also gives you sales per 100K population, even though it is not in the visualization, because we added that to the detail. So because we added it into detail, that information is also available to you. Now you can, okay, there's one more thing we can do. We can bring in sales and drop it into label, right? Bring in sales, and then sales for 100K population, you put that into label. Now since we are now adding both of them into label, we really don't need it in detail. So I'm going to take that out, and you'll still see it because it's part of label. Okay. Now click label, right? Now if you click these three little dots, that will open up the label. Then you can add text to the information. So this will be like sales, okay, and then this will be sales 100K population. So okay. Now we can preview what that will look like. Okay, so that's what this is going to look like. Okay. Click OK. So it's not showing up here because there is not enough real estate there, screen place. If we try to increase the width, let's see if we, so in order to view this properly, let's say that we filter by population. Okay, so let's say at least 10 million. Okay, so put one more zero. All right, so now we have only the top few. Now if you increase the size, then you'll see that all the labels will show up. Okay. So it's a matter of resolution of the screen.